Kind of crazy to me that this is considered controversial. No nurse that's working full-time should be making less than $100,000 a year. This is a hill I will die on. In case you haven't figured it out yet, companies do not compensate for longevity anymore, at least not when it comes to healthcare, and loyalty in nursing does not pay, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but if you are a new nurse, please hear me when I say this. You will make so much more money as an RN if you do not stay at the same hospital for a very long time. And by that, I mean every 2 years, it's time to go.
In Chicago specifically, Indiana, and Iowa, the nursing pay is not very good. It's actually very bad, in my opinion. In the suburbs of Chicago in Illinois state, the pay increases, right? Chicago is on slightly a cheaper pay scale than the rest of Illinois. Again, I am excluding union hospitals and university hospitals. I'm talking just your average run-of-the-mill hospital. Chicago typically pays less than other counties in Illinois. In my opinion, I believe that is because Chicago is such a destination, right? That is almost where everyone in the Midwest that wants to be a city girl or have that city life experience, so many of us from the surrounding states move to Chicago, which means there's a lot more nurses to choose from and they can be cheaper, right? Because it's a higher desirable area than farmland in Illinois. No offense to the farmer. Next on the pyramid, you have Wisconsin. No, but based on the comments and based off what I have personally seen, Wisconsin pays higher than Illinois. Why is that? Again, I think it's based on desirability of where people want to live. People aren't bum rushing Wisconsin's door typically, right? So they are going to pay a little bit higher. They need to bring some people in, incentivize, if you will. Now, Minnesota pays the highest of the Midwest states, higher than Wisconsin, higher than all of the Midwest states. I believe that is for two reasons. One, Minnesota is very blue. It is a very pro-union, pro-labor state to work. Minnesota unions are strong. Call them the California of the Midwest, if you will, right? So that's one reason. Second reason, it ties into that desirability effect. We are all from the Midwest, right? We are no strangers to winter. I grew up in Wisconsin. The polar vortexes still scarred me to this day. And Chicago with the wind and, we know winter, right? But who has the worst, most snow winter of all of the states? Minnesota. I don't think people are beating down the door to get into Minnesota and experience 9 months of winter. No offense, no shade, but it's not. And for those two reasons, pro-union and crazy winters, that's why I think Minnesota pays the highest.
What I absolutely hate about nursing school is the fear-mongering. The fact that we have spent so much time, so much money, so much effort to get to this place. Okay, first day of nursing school. You walk in, you're keyed up, you can't even enjoy it because you're so anxious. You're freaking out because everything that you hear online is that nursing school is terrible. It's gonna be the worst 2 years of your life. You're gonna have no time for friends, family, working, whatever it is that you need to do to maintain, like, being an actual human being. And listen, I get it. I am brand new to this game. I am a baby nursing student. Okay? I am on day, 4. But after talking to a lot of the people in my cohort, we're all struggling with the same things. It is this feeling of overwhelm, of borderline terror because everything is new. A lot of people feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna get any of these concepts. I don't know how I'm gonna do any of this stuff. Some people even feel like it's a mistake that they're in the class to begin with. So if I can encourage you in one way today, enjoy it as much as possible. Yes, it's gonna be hard. You're learning concepts that will literally save somebody's life. That is a big deal. That is a big thing. But how beautiful is it that all of the work that you have put in to get to this point of sitting in that seat, in that lecture hall, performing those skills on those simulation mannequins, all of that you get to do because of the hard work that you put in. It is not a mistake that you're in nursing school. This is the start of a beautiful 2 years. You're gonna grow so much. My prayer for myself and for whoever is watching this is that in 2 years you look back and you are proud. You are proud of the person that you have become, proud of the skills that you've learned. You're proud because you stuck with it. You did the hard work. You did the study sessions. You got out of your comfort zone and you've grown as a person because of that. So congratulations for being a nursing student. Congratulations for getting this far. And pre-congratulations, because 4 more semesters. Hopefully we'll be nurses. Cheers.
Morning, you guys. Just wanted to touch base again. Hi again to all my new followers. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to what's going on with like these larger hospitals around the country laying off tons of people. Is it concerning to you guys? I feel a little concerned because I feel like if the large hospitals are doing it, the community hospitals are gonna follow suit. So leave a comment. Tell me what you think, how you feel.
Hey TikTok, I just got fucking let go, fired, whatever, I don't know. I was a server at a restaurant. I won't say what or who. I'm not gonna say anything about the names of any of these corporations, but they just called us all in and said everyone is let go and terminated effective immediately. I had tables, I literally had tables, and they shut down the system while we were there. I couldn't even close out my tables. I couldn't even like run my paperwork for the end of the day. They were just like, go. So let me know if anyone's hiring. They like tried to offer all of us severance based off of our last 2 weeks of work. I was on vacation. So there's not even like any really like severance that I could take. Let a girl know.
So I got fired today. I'm shocked. I literally just finished making my coffee to like process because let me get it. I'm just like so confused. Like it wasn't me. Basically a little about me. I work in human resources and my company was acquired by a new company. I'm part of the human resources team. There's been revenue issues. They were just downsizing. So getting rid of all unnecessary positions. Now, the funny thing is like I was working for a company where in March of 2020, because of COVID, they were just like getting rid of all like quote unnecessary roles to save money because nobody knew what COVID was. Flash forward to like mid-end of year, I get rehired on a part-time basis, then full-time basis. Now go to this year, we get acquired by the company that I'm currently at, which is based in California. I was originally working in New York. And I come on, I've been there for about 6 months. My husband and I just moved to California. Hold on, I gotta put this down. My husband and I just moved to California. He left his job as a PT in New York, so he's unemployed. And we move in with my mom. I'm like, I'll work, we'll save money, it'll be great. And now I'm unemployed. And it's just so funny because I'm basically being let go for like more or less like the same kind of reason. And I'm just like in shock. So now, this is the crazy thing. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, the idea of going to find another job right now, like just sounds the most unappealing. Now I'm just gonna figure it out. So yeah, so that's the situation. So right now, this is what's gonna happen right now before I figure anything else out. I'm gonna have my coffee. I'm gonna finish my coffee, I'm gonna drink my coffee, I'm gonna sit outside and have it. Then I'm gonna figure out what to do. So, yay!
So I just got fired from this job that I've been working my absolute butt off for the past almost 3 months. And the funny thing is, so I came in and it was a whole mess. There was mold. I mean, it was disgusting. And the fire inspector told me it should have been shut down. There were so many like issues. We didn't have a front desk worker. There was only like 3 members of the staff. The manager was like doing something weird with the system. Everything was weird, okay? So I go in and I start fixing it. And I become a manager. And then, you know, the contract comes for me to sign it to be a GM. And it was basically saying $35,000 a year, but they want me working 60-hour weeks. And they added like a ton of extra roles onto, and this is like a high-end place, a very high-end place. And so I basically told them, no, like I'm worth more than that. And kept going back and forth, back and forth. Yesterday I walk in, they hired a competitor, a manager for our competitor, the company that is against us. that our CEO hates is now working for these owners and is going to fix the studio. And she talked to me, she pulls me aside and she goes, okay, well, I talked to the owners. They said you're a great salesperson. I was the top in the whole company in the beginning of the month, okay? Whole company. But you basically don't know how to manage anybody, which is okay because of how young you are. And I was like, no, I know what I'm doing. Like, I know what I'm doing. I was up on the roof checking the HVAC. Like, I know what the heck I'm doing. I've been fighting for staff, for front desk worker with mold, fire inspector, landlord with you. I had an assistant general manager walk out on me. I've been dealing with so much. I hit my head and got a concussion. I worked 107 hours and only 4 of those counted for overtime. I know what I'm doing. And they just fired me, saying that I do not know how to utilize time and that time is being wasted. But the best part is that the owners couldn't even do it themselves. They had this new girl from our competitor come in and fire me. And that's it. And they said, you can't come back. And I have gotten them over 120 clients in the past couple of months. And I'm done. Like, I'm not allowed to go back. And that was the reason, which is not true at all. And if you look at my numbers, I'm so angry. And it was because I asked them to give their employees $1 raise. Apparently that's me stirring the pot. So I'm not happy right now. And I told them that I wanted to meet with them in person. So that's going to happen. And we'll see how it goes because I'm bringing all of the numbers with me.
I just got fired from my job. This was my pre-degree dream job we're talking about. I was obsessed with this place. And my boss texted me and she's like, how are you not going to show up to work? Like, you're fired. And I'm like, what the hell do you mean? Like, when was this? Like, she goes, you can't not, like, show up to work. Like, I had a bunch of tasks for you to do and you didn't even come. Like, you didn't even tell me you weren't going to come. I waited for you the whole day and you didn't show up. I had a bunch of things for you to do, like a bunch of tasks. We ended up figuring it out here in the office, but it was supposed to be for you and you didn't do it because you weren't here. So we had to all figure it out. I don't know who figured it out, but someone else did in the office. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, yeah, you're fired. I don't want to hear it. And I'm like, but hear me out. I was there that day. How are you just gonna fire me when, like, you're not even letting me speak? She goes, how am I gonna let you speak if you didn't even come to work? And I'm like, I was there. Like, I was literally there. And who do you think completed all those tasks? I did. I completed my own task because I did go that day and I stayed all the way to the end. She goes, no, you weren't. Like, I didn't see you. And I'm like, but I was there. And she's like, all right, let's check the cameras. We checked the cameras and guess who was there? Me. She's like, oh my God, I didn't even see you. You're so skinny. I didn't even see you. And then she was looking at the camera and she's like, your body's giving Victoria's Secret skinny. Like, eat a cheeseburger. Like, your body's so skinny. And then, like, she zoomed into my waist. My waist wasn't there. So just because my waist wasn't there doesn't mean I wasn't there. I was there. My waist just wasn't. So I got fired from work because I'm too skinny. I wish. I honestly wish. If you guys haven't seen the trend, this is a trend. This is not for real. I still have my job. But imagine, like, your boss saying, oh my God, I didn't see you today because you're so skinny. Really? Really? I have to go get my fingerprints done. So I'll talk to you guys later.
A little over 2 years ago, I was fired from my first job ever. My first job ever being fired from was 2 years ago from a very prestigious facility. I had recently started my social media and my TikTok was slowly growing and people knew me on the unit before I even stepped foot on the unit. One of my first days there was a map on the unit showing where everyone was from. It had little pictures of the bio of them with a string showing where they're from, because at this prestigious facility, it had a bunch of people from all over, which was pretty cool to see. One of the managers came up to me and asked me to send a picture of myself and a bio to her and asked me, you know what a bio is, right? And I was like, yeah. Now, mind you, this is mid-shift, okay? I'm working. I said, yeah, I know what a bio is. She replied, you could put something like, I think I'm TikTok famous. And that's when I knew this was going to be a shit show. You see, I don't walk onto a unit and announce, hi, I'm Lindsay. I have a TikTok. I don't do any of that. I don't want to talk about that at work because of this experience alone. This is the first time I'd worked somewhere that immediate hostility was found and felt on the unit. You see, my first couple of weeks in, several of my videos had been turned into, what was it called? Risk management. That's right. And I was like, weird. No one's ever brought me into the office to speak to me about my TikToks. But you know, okay. Now, I played a role in this. I did film on campus. I filmed something on campus that I shouldn't have, okay? Check, done. However, as the weeks went on, more rumors about my videos circulating, getting turned into every which blah, 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 was happening, okay? And I was getting sick of it. I was so anxious coming onto the unit. I do know exactly who was turning them in. 2 people exactly that I know of were turning them in, but no one to my face, no one was bringing me to the office to speak to me. So I took it upon myself and I went to the office to one of the managers and I said, hey, there's a lot of rumors circulating on the unit that I'm going to be fired for my TikTok that I already took down. What is the issue? He told me there was no issue, that if I took it down and I know not to film on campus anymore, that there would be no issue and I would be fine. I said, okay, cool. Little did I know we were not done here. Fast forward to a shift. This is now my 14th week at this hospital. 14th week. That means I had finished one contract. I had started a new contract. This place wanted me to extend and begin anew. My 14th week there was a nursing student and they were with this nurse. And this nurse made them so uncomfortable that they were on the verge of tears in the break room because this nurse just should have never had a nursing student or any new grad of any kind because she could not regulate her emotions to talk to a coworker correctly. She was a bully. Bully all caps. I decided to go home and make a video on this in my RV in pink scrubs. I did not mention where I worked. However, because she'd been lurking, my shit got turned in on a Friday and I was fired that Monday. I got a phone call from my agent. She said, I don't know what's going on, but you have been terminated effective immediately and DNR'd from prestigious facility. You cannot set foot on this campus or you will be removed by security. I said, what? Is anyone going to tell me what the fuck I did? I can't remember the exact verbiage of why I was fired, but it was something along the lines of dramatizing a TikTok that wasn't true. Something along those lines. I said, wasn't true. Honey, it was all true. You just don't want to hear it. When I asked if I could speak to the managers, they said no. There will be no conversation. There will be no way for me to stand up for myself or explain myself of any way. I could send it to my agency and they could forward it, but that's about it. That's it. That was the day I realized that I cannot change a unit's culture, but I can scream from my own platform how I think a unit should run. I had many people telling me not to post the things I posted about bullies. You know, I just couldn't sit with that. It just didn't sit right with me. I wanted to talk about the shit that had been done and the shit that happened on units all the damn time. And I did. And my platform started to grow and grow. And I don't really know why I'm telling you this story, but I just felt like it needed to be out there that 2 years ago, I hit my rock bottom. I was fired for the first time. It rocked my confidence a little bit. My skills as a nurse was questioned by myself because I was like, how can I be fired for something that has nothing to do with being a nurse? I don't know, but I was. But I trusted my gut and I decided to talk more about bullying online. And guess what? Those bitches still there. I'm not saying it'll work out for everyone that decides to go against the grain and stick up for things that they just full-heartedly believe in. Like, I just can't stand a new grad being belittled by an experienced nurse. I think it's pathetic. And when you stand up for it, sometimes you're going to get fired. But guess what? My platform grew enough to where I don't even need that job at that prestigious hospital. And I hope they're watching and I hope they remember that they helped me get here. So thank you.
I just got laid off. I was laid off from my outpatient job and I was working in a NICU follow-up clinic. I have never experienced something like this before. So I'm doing what any sane person would do, which is I'm eating French fries, waiting to go into Hobby Lobby. I will say I'm very thankful that I work per diem. I do have a second job that I'll just pick up a little bit more at. I don't have benefits through this job, so I'm not taking a hit as much as a lot of the other nurses are, but whoa. I have a lot of feelings about this. I think the biggest one I'm feeling though is disappointment and I'm a little bit angry. This is the first time where I have seen with my own eyes that we treat healthcare like a business. Sucks because at the end of the day, the people who are suffering this layoff the most isn't me, it's not the nurses, although yes, we are suffering, it's the kids. And that's what I'm having such a hard time understanding is, why are we doing this when we know the detrimental impact it's going to have on the patients who are the children?
Still playing catch up like it's 2012. And what's wild is that companies are pulling record profits. Executives are cashing 7-figure bonuses, but the people keeping the whole thing running, they're fighting just to make rent and feed their families. Make it make sense. We're not asking for luxury. We're not asking to live like influencers in a high-rise with rooftop pools and oat milk lattes. We're literally saying, let us afford a safe place to live, food that's not ramen, and maybe, not panic every time the car makes a weird noise. This isn't about laziness or entitlement. It's about survival. It's about dignity.